Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Even after nearly a decade and a half on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle Richards still manages to surprise Andy Cohen. And he made sure to call out one shocker in particular at the season 14 reunion. During part 3 of the cast sit-down, Andy broached the topic of Kyle's estranged husband Mauricio Amansky's alleged infidelity before invoking comments she'd made at the previous reunion. As a refresher, Kyle cryptically explained on the heels of her shocking October 2023 separation announcement that something happened with Mauricio that made her lose her trust. When castmate Sutton Strack brought up the Mauricio cheating rumors during season 14, however, Kyle reacted with shock and confusion. "I was surprised you were acting a little obtuse about it on the show when you had alluded to it here last year," Andy told Kyle. The Robe cast member attempted to explain herself, however, by saying she had to think about her 4 daughters, Farrah Brittany Aljeffrey, Alexia Amansky, Portia Amansky, and Sophia Amansky, and didn't want to hurt anybody or throw anybody under the bus. "Not everything in our lives is up for grabs, and I'm not here to talk bad about Mao. I don't like when anybody speaks against him, and I did feel like that was done intentionally that day with Sutton," Kyle continued. "I don't want to talk bad about the father of my children. I just don't." Kyle wasn't exactly in the dark, though. When the Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen host brought up the much-discussed photos of Mauricio kissing a mystery woman in a Greek airport, she said that she didn't know he was seeing anybody at the time, but had assumed that was the case. The reason? "Before he moved out and got his own place, I used to see all his messages," Kyle revealed of her ex, joking that her day job is detective. "And I do know every F King Crumb." However, the Robog insisted that she's since stopped looking and clarified that she and Mauricio were already separated when she saw the private, presumably romantic messages in question. Seeing photos of Mauricio in public with other women across the globe didn't make Kyle feel angry or jealous at all, though. "It was very jarring at first because to me, in my mind, like, that's my husband all these years. How weird to see him with another woman at all," she admitted. "I just feel like I'm looking at somebody else, honestly." When Jennifer Tilly asked if Mauricio said anything to her about the photos, Kyle shared that he apologized and had to answer to their daughters as well. "He felt horrible, and he got a tongue lashing from the 4 other Kyles," she said, before expressing her desire to also date. "I mean, I'm not going to be like him, out there skiing on the slopes with people and whatever, but, I want to move on in that aspect, too. And I will be very soon." Still, Kyle added that they actually both have regrets for allowing their 30-year marriage to crumble before opening up about what went wrong between her and Mauricio. She cited money, traveling, fame, his business, the agency growing, and the attention he was getting with all that as factors that contributed to their split. "Women are snakes," Kyle said. "They see a man who is a good husband and a good father, and he has money, and they're like, 'Oh, I want that,' and throw themselves at him. And we got married very young, and he never got to go out and do his thing. And I think that, really contributed to the downfall of our marriage." Photos and videos of her estranged husband out partying, including with Paul P.K. Kemsley and summer house Kyle Cook in Miami, also serve as little reminders of what led to their separation. "It makes me think that's one of the reasons we're not together, actually," Kyle elaborated. "I don't like to go out and party like that. When we were in our 20s, it was great 30s too. But now, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Let our daughters go." Regardless, Kyle and Mauricio are still on good terms today. When Andy asked the status of their separation and if either of them had filed for divorce at the season 14 reunion, Kyle replied, "No, we're literally just the same," adding, "We're close. We talk all the time." The Bravo universe is no stranger to chaos, cryptic glances, or cleverly timed commercial breaks. But when Kyle Richards took to the couch during part 2 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, she likely didn't expect to be read like a script by none other than Bravo daddy himself, Andy Cohen. Tension had already been simmering since the season premiere, with murmurs of Mauricio Amansky's alleged extracurricular activities echoing through wine tastings, yoga retreats, and the hallowed halls of Dorrit Kemsley's glam room. Yet, as the reunion lights dimmed and the questions got sharper than Erica Jane's contour, Andy leaned forward with the kind of gravity usually reserved for housewives holding diamonds. "Kyle," he said, his voice smooth but unflinching, "you've been dancing around this all season. But let's be honest, are you being deliberately obtuse about Mauricio's alleged cheating?" A pause fell over the room, pregnant and dramatic, like a classic Lisa Rinna lip tremble. The women leaned in. Erica blinked slowly. Garcelle crossed her legs with surgical precision. Kyle smiled. Or was it a wince? "Obtuse? Andy, really?" She laughed, but her voice cracked just enough to betray the chill under her Chanel. "You've been giving us half answers and sidestepping direct questions," Andy continued, not missing a beat. "Even in your confessionals. You've talked about distance and vibes being off, but every time someone, especially Sutton, asked you about the rumors, you shut it down or changed the subject." He held up a cue card, as if presenting evidence in the court of Bravo. "Here's a list of the times you dodged the Mauricio topic. Do we need to roll the footage?" Kyle's face paled slightly. "I wasn't dodging. I was protecting my family. My girls. My marriage. What's left of it. There's a difference between being private and being obtuse." But Andy wasn't letting her off the hook. "Come on, Kyle. You're on a reality show. You built your brand on being the relatable one, the open book. You can't slam the door just because it's inconvenient." From across the couch, Dorrit chimed in, gently, but with that oh-so-precise British inflection she whips out when things get messy. "We've all supported you through this, Kyle. But when you leave us in the dark, it's hard not to feel like we're just extras in your personal PR campaign." That stung. You could see it in Kyle's eyes. For a moment, she looked less like a seasoned housewife and more like someone caught between reality and Real Housewives' trademark. "Do you know what it's like," Kyle said, her voice rising, "to have tabloids tearing apart your life while you're just trying to figure things out yourself?" "I didn't want to say things on camera that I hadn't even said to my own kids yet." Andy nodded, his expression softening for a beat. But then he pressed again, the way only he can. "We get that. But rumors about Mauricio have been swirling for over a year now. You don't have to confirm or deny anything you're not ready to, but playing coy makes it worse. You know that, Kyle. You've watched this show longer than anyone." That was the kicker. Because Kyle does know. She's been here since day one, the last original Beverly Hills housewife, still holding a diamond. She's seen friendships implode, marriages unravel, and reputations torched by nothing more than a shady lunch in Pasadena. So why was she acting brand new? In her defense, maybe she thought she could ride this wave without giving the cameras the full breakdown. Maybe she thought if she gave just enough, one teary conversation with her therapist, a vague comment about growing apart, that would be sufficient. But Andy's confrontation made it clear. Viewers don't tune in for shadows. They want spotlight. Backstage footage later revealed Kyle pacing her dressing room, muttering to herself, "I knew this would come up. I just didn't think it would feel like this." Her makeup artist patted her back, while a producer reminded her, "You've handled way worse than this." But had she? Back on set, Garcelle stepped in with the voice of reason. "Look, Kyle, if there's anything I've learned from being on this show, it's that transparency, even when it's painful, is the only way through. You can't curate grief. People will connect to you more if you stop trying to control the narrative." That landed. Kyle's defenses cracked just a little more. She took a deep breath, wiped a tear, and gave the first answer that felt 100% real all night. "I don't know what's going to happen with Mauricio. I don't. There have been issues, yes. And I was scared to say that out loud. But if we're being honest, I'm not even sure who we are anymore. We're not in the same chapter, maybe not even the same book." Andy, ever the moderator, softened his tone. "Thank you for saying that. That's what people want. Not a fairy tale. Just the truth, even if it's messy."